If I may speak freely, this should not be his first assignment.
I've worked homicide 5 years.
Not here.
For how long have you lived here?
Too long.
911, what's your emergency?
No fingerprints. No witnesses of any kind.
No.
It means that this is beginning.
All right. Is that enough?
There are 7 deadly sins. Oh, gluttony, greed, pride, sloth, wrath, lust, and envy.
Sweetie, envy is the last one. That's the last one that they do.
Well, John Doe didn't do it in order.
No, he didn't.
Because Wrath was his last one.
And here we thought that he was organized. Good
Yes.
old John Doe.
He did them in his own order. That's why they didn't catch on until
he let them catch on.
I think after Greed, they caught on.
He was in complete control pretty much of the entire movie.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, my name's Todd Adams. I'm with Zen Pop Parenting.
Yeah, me too. And Zen Pop Parenting is where Gen X pop culture meets real life reflection.
That's right. And on today's show, we're doing a little upbeat movie called Se7en.
It's so funny because Se7en to me is similar to Silence of the Lambs. Yes, I get it. It's scary. There's parts of it that I don't watch. They're gross. But it doesn't terrify me in the way it terrifies other people. There's other movies that terrify me. I watched this last night again in the dark by myself while doing crossword puzzles. Like I'm kind of unaffected.
Was it really in the dark?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because I took some videos. Well, no.
I was going to say, there's a flaw in your thinking.
There is.
How do you do crossword puzzles in the dark?
I had all the lights, overhead lights off, and then that lamp in the gray chair.
Yeah.
I had that on my crossword puzzle.
There you go.
So you're right. It wasn't pitch dark, but I was not. My point is, it's less about my light and more about it. Maybe I've just seen it too many times.
Yeah. I mean, this is 1995. That's 30 years.
I know. And just like a hot take right off the bat.
Hold on. Let me get a little hot take action.
Okay.
Boy, it's hot. This is hot. Never got this hot in Brooklyn.
What's your
Okay.
hot take?
So my hot take is this. Brad Pitt is so Brad Pitt in this movie.
Oh my God. My hot take is a little similar to this.
Brad Pitt has this vocal inflection that just is with him in a lot of his early movies where he does this voice that nobody else does but Brad Pitt. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I did record some of it because I was like, oh my God, that's so Brad Pitt. And I don't know how to explain it. Do you know how to explain it? He has this like,
Sweetie,
da-da-da.
I'm coming in hot here too.
Okay, let's hear it.
Boy, it's hot.
So 2 hot takes. Right at the
Okay.
beginning. My hot take is that Brad Pitt annoys me throughout this entire movie.
So he doesn't annoy me.
With the exception of, and I think he is one of our better actors. He's certainly not my favorite, but he's one of our better actors of our generation. And I see him acting in the movie.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting. Okay. So
and that's why it's annoying. Or maybe he's a really good actor and I'm just supposed to be annoyed at Mills. That's the character he plays.
I think he does a good job with the levels of Mills because Mills is cocky, but he's also insecure.
Yep.
He's pretty perceptive, but he's also not that smart. He wants to be in charge, but he also knows he shouldn't be in charge.
Right.
I think he has to play a lot of things at once. And so it was less about I'm annoyed at his acting. But I guess my point is I saw Brad Pitt though. I guess that's my point is that there's this vocal inflection that he does where he talks like this. And I just don't know. And that's his thing. I'm sure every actor has a thing they do. But anyway, there was a few times when I had to record it just to like point it out to myself.
Having said that, my one exception is that at the very end of the movie and he's deciding whether or not he wants to kill Kevin Spacey's character.
It's excellent acting.
Excellent acting.
Excellent acting.
He crushed it in that last scene.
He cries,
and even
then he gets serious.
Even in the car ride, well, even the car ride,
he's in shock.
He's a little before.
On the way there,
he's a little annoying. Like he's just annoying the entire movie.
Something I caught on to watching it last night more is how anxious they both were about going with him on this ride. And I don't mean just the ride. I mean, I was listening more intently to the conversation, when the lawyer's like, here's what he wants. Here's what he demands.
Played by the guy from West Wing.
Oh yeah, Richard Schiff.
Yeah.
He didn't have a beard, so I didn't recognize him. And he's, and they're kind of like, why are you representing this awful human being? But that's his job. But he's like, here's what he demands. Here's what you need to do. And they're both kind of like, we got him. Let's not do this. And they're like, well, 2 more people are going to die and you're going to get blamed for it. Whatever. They basically get forced into this. And them getting ready to go on the car ride,
Yep.
they feel young to me. They feel it's not about youth. It's about nervous for the first time. Like there's so much they do in the movie where you're like, oh, they're cops and I'm like, oh, they're nervous. And then in the car, Morgan Freeman is more like the dad and Brad Pitt's more like a sibling,
Well,
kind of
and it's
like
kinda like
agonizing him.
The entire movie, Morgan Freeman is kind of the elder wise man,
Yeah,
but
through the
he's
whole
not
thing.
so wise. He's so jaded. And there's that scene in the bar
Right.
where he's like, I cannot subscribe to the way that you look at things because I need to have hope. I feel like Morgan Freeman maybe he's got a little hope, but he's just so beat down.
Well, he's jaded but gentle. He said, when they're talking about how do you live in a place like this? How do you think these things are okay? And he's like, I don't. That's why I want to keep that
Right.
I don't think this is okay. I've never said it's okay. I'm just saying that it's happening
Right.
all the time. And, I'm just going to throw this in, even though it's a random fact, that they never say what city it is.
No,
so
they
they're
don't.
not like New York or LA or Chicago. They're like, there is Detroit. They don't say. So the whole idea is that this is our plight.
That's right.
So anyway, we are going to set the scene, I think.
Actually, I just want to play it just because we were just talking about it.
Oh, go ahead.
When they're in the bar.
Cheeseburgers, play the lotto, and watch out.
How did you get like this? Want to know?
There wasn't one thing, I can tell you that. I just don't think I can continue to live in a place that embraces and nurtures apathy as if it was virtue.
You know different. You know better.
I say I was different, but I'm not. Yeah, I sympathize.
I really like the dialogue in
Mhm.
this movie.
Good writing.
My thing is this movie, because I was kind of sort of watching it, fast forwarding through it, and all the body. One of my we have a. I'm skipping categories here, but we have a category called. Where is it? This one.
It's time to move on. It's time to get going.
So time to move on is which scenes in the movie can you just skip over? And I'm going to go ahead and say mine right now. We're going to be out of order today, sweetie.
Okay.
All the scenes where they're finding the bodies.
Okay.
Like, I know that is probably the most intense, probably the one that cost the most to produce. And you have the kind of the big guy who was dead at the dinner table.
Spaghetti.
It's the spaghetti. You can skip over. I know for the first time, you kind of need to see to the degree that this crazy person did this stuff. But it's my least favorite parts of the entire movie.
Yeah, like I said, I don't really watch that anymore.
Yeah.
Like I'm in the movie for the dialogue and for the detective work, even though some of the detective work is done on the scene.
Yeah.
But I sure as hell don't watch the scene with the lust. I never watched that scene.
Speaking of scenes, should we? All right. You ready for the AI summary, sweetie, that you
Oh.
always love so much?
I'm excited to see what words
Let's see what
it
they
uses.
say. Actually, I think I got this from IMDb. So
Okay.
maybe. Taking place in a nameless city, kind of like what you said. Se7en follows the story of 2 homicide detectives tracking down a sadistic serial killer who chooses his victims according to the 7 deadly sins. Brad Pitt is Mills, a hopeful but naive rookie who finds himself partnered with veteran Detective Somerset, played by Morgan Freeman. Together, they trace the killer's every step, witnessing the aftermath of his horrific crimes, one by one as the victims pile up in rapid succession, all the while moving closer to a gruesome fate neither of them could have predicted.
No, they couldn't have predicted.
So we got Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, Gwyneth Paltrow, Were they dating? They were dating.
Mm-hmm.
They never got married though, right?
No, they were engaged.
Okay, never quite closed that loop. And then the guy from Full Metal Jacket's in this. He's the sergeant, the guy that screams at.
I've never seen Full Metal Jacket.
Oh my God, you've never seen? I've
I
seen
don't
that.
think so. Have I?
I don't know. I've seen that so many times.
Yeah. I definitely haven't seen it many times. There's a possibility I watched it at some point, but I have not retained.
His name is Arlie M. Ermy.
And who does he play in?
He is the police captain.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
He's a familiar actor,
And then finally, Kevin Spacey as John Doe.
but not billed. He was not put on the poster or in the opening credits.
Which was a genius move.
And it was Kevin Spacey who said, "Don't do that. Don't put me there."
Yeah.
But then at the very end, the closing credits, he's the first name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which was which is smart. Maybe he was the first person to do this. I don't know. But this is a common thing in movies that if you are going to have someone pop up who's like the bad guy or the villain or pop up later, you can't have them as a star, or else the whole time you're watching the movie, waiting for this person to show up.
Wasn't that a great time of our lives when the internet wasn't rampant and
Yeah.
we didn't know things?
Yeah. I was actually just listening to another podcast, and they were talking about the Blair Witch Project. It wasn't the Rewatchables. It was the other one, the one like What Went Wrong, I think it's called. And they were talking about the Blair Witch Project and just the amount that Artisan or whoever produced it got away with as far as almost, pretending these kids were really
Actually,
dead.
kids, yeah.
Like
Genius.
making it everybody think it was truly a documentary and that we could not track that. And I lived that because I was doing my dial-up internet trying to figure out what was going on with Heather and Josh and Michael.
Yeah.
The Blair Witch Project. I'm like, oh my God. Yes, I agree. And so a few other things about the kind of the cultural mood. It was 1995, which you may have said grunge was kind of fading out because Kurt Cobain died in 1994. So we all had a bit of a collective hangover about that. Friends had started. So there was a little optimism in there. Friends era had begun, but there was kind of a, OJ trial had started. That was dominating the headlines. Like it was definitely a change in, so maybe it's just me.
No one told you life was gonna be this way.
1995, sweetie.
Yeah. So I graduated in 93. So I was probably about 24, 25. And I just think maybe personally, a lot of things were changing for me. So I just felt that.
You had a great job.
Oh my God. The worst job.
What was your job?
I was just
again?
telling somebody how I got fired. I was a recruiter in Chicago.
Which is what you studied in school, like how to recruit
Okay,
for 4 years.
I should never be doing sales because people be like, I'm busy. I'm like, okay,
No problem.
have a good day. People would quit their jobs and I'd be like, you should quit your job. And that's my money, I was awful at that job. And then my boss, Bill, who was, sweet in his own way, but he went to fire me and I pretended that it wasn't happening. And I'm like, let me go home and think about if I should do this job. But so I actually did quit, but really I got fired.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real. And then everything changed after that.
You should have gotten yourself fired. That way you could have collected unemployment.
I wasn't thinking that way. I was too egocentric at the time.
I get it.
I just didn't want to deal with it. But, it was Clinton years. But there was, which promised some optimism, at the beginning. But again, things weren't going well as far as Senate and Congress getting along. Do you know what I mean? Like it was an ugly time, like there was some ugliness. Movies like Natural Born Killers, Pulp Fiction, it was ugly.
Yeah. It's a lot of kind of dark, Natural Born Killers is one of the darkest movies out there.
I've never sat through the whole thing.
Pulp Fiction was a great movie,
Excellent movie, but
also very
violent.
dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. So it's like there was just a shift in what we were viewing and the way we saw the world and our willingness to be darker. And Se7en is, just fits perfectly.
I think Se7en is like the darkest movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, the world
by design.
It was kind of it was depravity. It's depravity, and there's so much to talk about John Doe, and I know we'll get to it about why he did what he did, but it has that Joker-esque feel, I actually just wrote something last Friday. It will have come out last Friday about what horror movies teach us. And John Doe actually falls in line with Thanos, who is not in a horror movie. He's in Matrix. He's in Marvel. But it's this belief that they see the world clearly under this religious lens, and that they're going to purify.
Yeah.
And really they've become what they hate, but they have no empathy and they can't see it.
Because they're crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And so there's just that, that they're depraved, and they don't recognize all the people they're hurting in their need to find order.
In 1995, I don't expect you'll get this, but any idea what the best picture was?
Let's see. If it was 95, let's see if Pulp Fiction was 94. 94 was the year when all those awesome movies came out. That was Forrest Gump, Quiz Show, Pulp Fiction, or those were from, okay, so go ahead and tell me.
Braveheart.
Braveheart. Yeah.
And the other big ones were Usual Suspects, Kevin Spacey, again,
Mm-hmm.
Toy Story, sweet Toy Story.
Mm-hmm.
What a
Favorite movies of all time.
and Clueless.
Great movie.
Yeah.
I just wasn't young enough to appreciate it as much. But Before Sunrise was our age.
Yeah.
Like, who didn't want to be traveling across Europe meeting someone really awesome?
Right.
Yeah, Todd loves Apollo 13. Are we going to do Apollo 13 someday?
Probably not. It's just a weird rewatchable movie for me that it sets me at ease for some reason. I don't know why.
Because they get back.
They do. We
And
gotta go
because
back, Kate.
everybody in it is trying to help each other.
Yeah.
It's not depraved.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like, okay, so can I tell you a few other setting the scene?
Please.
So, I don't know if I should say this now, like other people who are considered for Morgan Freeman's role.
Sure, go ahead, babe.
Al Pacino supposedly turned it down. Said he didn't want to play another cop after Heat. I don't know if that's true. Does that go in the right order? Heat would have been come out before 7.
Kevin Costner didn't seem to have a hard time playing baseball movies there.
I know.
At the same time.
I know, but that's a different person.
Yeah.
Robert Duvall and Gene Hackman supposedly were going to be Somerset, but they thought it was too bleak. And then Morgan Freeman was perfect. Like, he's just he's just good.
Did you see Denzel?
No, Denzel was for Brad Pitt's role.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he was mad that he did not take it, and then once he saw it, he's like, I should have taken it.
That could have been amazing.
Yeah.
Supposedly Sylvester Stallone and Harrison Ford also for Brad Pitt's role, which thank God. Sorry, but Sylvester Stallone, no, thank you.
Sylvester Stallone in anything other than Rocky or Rambo is no thank you. And I love Sylvester Stallone.
Is First Blood Rambo?
Yes, give me the best Sylvester Stallone movie that's not Rocky or Rambo. Like
Copland? I was going to say something else. Did he do anything funny? Didn't he do something about
Mary?
No. I don't know. I don't know any other Sylvester Stallone movies besides those. I mean, I do, but that are considered good. So Brad Pitt had just become kind of big after Interview with the Vampire, which I wish we could just do one on that. And Legends of the Fall. So
One of your favorites.
that one of my all-time favorite movies, and I hope we do that as well. Maybe we'll have a Brad Pitt month. But what I'll say is that's where Brad saw Gwyneth Paltrow audition, was for Legends of the Fall. Mm-hmm. She obviously did not get that. But that was Rocky very loud in my ears.
Let me try this one. The Italian Stallion.
Is he on the phone?
I don't know. I don't remember that part.
Is he knocking at the door?
Yeah.
So anyway, so he suggested Gwyneth Paltrow for this role, and yes, they were dating while it was going
She
on.
didn't want to do it, right? And he convinced her to
Yeah,
have
there
the
was
meeting.
a little bit of arm twisting. But she was Ashley Judd also. I auditioned for the role, and your girl,
Diane Lane?
not Diane Lane, previous
I
girl.
got lots of girls.
You do have lots of girls. Bridget Fonda.
Oh, yeah, Bridget Fonda.
Perfect timing for
Yeah,
her.
right.
They both actually, Ashley Judd and Bridget Fonda would have been good, but Gwyneth Paltrow was really good.
Yeah.
A few other things that I thought were interesting watching the opening credits last night. The opening credits actually tell you everything if you're watching.
Really?
Yeah. So you see him, he has a razor blade. There's razor blades.
Okay.
Because one of the things that John Doe does is he shaves off his fingerprints over and over again. That's why, like, when they actually find his apartment mid movie, they're like, there are no fingerprints in here, and there's no fingerprints on any crime scene.
I got another hot take.
Okay, let's hear it. You gonna shave yours off too?
And maybe I'm missing something.
Okay.
It's such a big deal. Oh, there's no fingerprints. There's no fingerprints. He slices off his fingers.
He didn't slice off his fingers. He sliced off the pads.
I think it's surprising how surprised these cops are that they can't find fingerprints anywhere on the crime scene. No,
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about the crime scene, not where he lives. Gloves?
Totally.
Like, what's the big deal
Yeah.
about no fingerprints? I don't understand why that's a big deal.
Well, it's frustrating. You'd think there'd be somewhere where he'd
No,
mess
if
up.
anybody's doing anything bad, they're going to wear gloves.
Yeah.
And then even at his house, like, just wear gloves, dude. It's not that big of a deal. I think it's kind of
But
an
do you wear
extreme way.
gloves at your house?
I'm not committing murders. If as soon as I start committing murders, I'm gonna be wearing gloves.
Like Theo from The Haunting of Hill House.
Exactly.
That's go listen to that from last week.
Exactly.
But yes, I get it. I also their shock about it is a little over the
Yeah,
top, but it's also pretty gross. I mean, it's an
It is pretty gross.
interesting.
Yeah.
So in the opening, first of all, Closer by Nine Inch Nails is playing, or a version of it, and Trent Reznor, who sings that song, he's the lead singer of Nine Inch Nails. He did not do the soundtrack or the, what do I want to call it, the music that's in a movie. What's the word I'm looking for?
Score?
The score. Thanks. He did not do the score of the movie, but interestingly, this is a David Fincher movie. He did do the score for The Social Network, which is also a David Fincher movie.
Okay.
So I just thought that was kind of interesting. So the opening has razor blades. It shows him writing in the journals. Like, so you see all the journals, and those are creepy because there's so much written. The font is so creepy.
Yeah, they did a good job with the fonts.
They did. Like, it's so jagged and dark, and even the way it like goes up on screen and
Yeah.
it's moving,
They're trying to make us unsettled. And
They
they
are
did a good job.
definitely setting the tone. And interestingly enough, the movie starts and you get a good 10 minutes before that. So like the movie starts with
So that's
Morgan Freeman,
setting up the relationship between.
Mills and Somerset.
Okay.
So like first of all, they do a good job. This is called what is it called? Not expository, exposition. It is expository, but there's exposition in movies where they have to write dialogue to introduce you to people.
Yeah.
And some movies do it really well, and some movies are so blatantly obvious that it's annoying to
Yeah.
watch. Like they'll do things like, "Oh, aren't you from Chicago? And don't you have a
Yeah,
mother that's blah,
right.
blah?" Like it's too. You're like, this is not a normal conversation.
Yeah.
But they open the movie by Somerset going into a house where there has been a murder, obviously, and looking at the fridge and noticing that there's kids' pictures, meaning pictures that have been drawn. And he says to another police officer, "Did the kids see this?"
Yeah.
And the police are like pissed at him.
Yeah.
They're like, "Dude, you're always looking at stuff like that. You make things a pain in the butt." So right off the bat, you know that he cares. You know that he's not the easiest to work with.
Yeah.
And they also say, "We're glad you're retiring."
Yeah.
So a lot happens. And then Brad Pitt comes up the stairs and, is like, "I'm Mills," whatever.
Yeah.
So you're kind of in the movie before the credits, which I think is more normal now. I don't think it was as normal then.
Right.
I think, like Todd and I do so many Gen X movies. And one thing that's very true about Gen X movies are opening credits are ridiculously long and boring. I keep thinking of the Pelican Brief. It's so long and boring.
Not Star Wars, baby. They just
Right.
jump right in. There are no credits to Star Wars because it's the best.
Star Wars is pretty cool.
I feel like I found this YouTube clip. It's 2 minutes long. I'm going to break it into small pieces, but it's the 10 best Se7en quotes.
Okay.
So we're gonna do that to bridge categories. You okay with that?
Sure. Before you do that,
Yeah, go ahead.
the last set the scene thing I have
Yeah.
is for us because I was an English minor. Were you an English minor or did you enjoy English in
I
college?
hated English classes because they would give you that little blue book
They sure
to
would.
write in
Essays.
for the test. Give me some true false. Give me some multiple choice. I'll take some fill in the blanks. The blue composition booklet, not a fan.
Got it. But you had
My
to use
arm-
composition for econ and all that kind of stuff too.
No, econ, it's all supply and demand, sweetie. When supply is high,
and
demand is low, prices go,
Up, up, up
Up.
they go. Am I doing that
they
the
go
right
down,
way?
actually.
Okay. See, I got a D in econ.
That's right.
That's
I
why I
could
can't
tell.
sing the song. Okay. So, but what I was going to say is I am a literature fan and I was an English major or minor. And I had to, so why I'm saying that is I had to read certain books more than one time. Like I had to do a lot of deep dives into famous literature. And so, Paradise Lost is referenced in this movie
Yeah.
by Milton. The Canterbury Tale
That was my
by
favorite.
Chaucer.
I learned
Did you
that.
like the Canterbury Tale?
Brit Lit, because it's a bunch of short stories.
Yes.
With I loved Canterbury Tales, and it's sad that because I think he had a certain amount of travelers, and they were supposed to do 3 stories or something like
Yeah.
that. But the dude died before he could finish the book.
Oh, that's
sad.
interesting Chaucer trivia.
There you go.
And then obviously my favorite is the Divine Comedy by Dante. And I had to do it in high school. And I also had a college class where we focused on the Inferno for probably 6 months. And my teacher would go, the Inferno. He liked to say it in like an Italian way.
Yeah.
It always made me laugh. But guess where I sat in that class? Front row.
Of course you did.
With my friend Nancy. And I loved it. Like because I loved the Inferno. I mean, it's so interesting, right? And it gave us a framework of what hell was being at the very end a very like large creature that, you know, who Satan ends up being. And it's interesting how there's been so many not derivatives, but interesting. It's not really like that anymore.
Yeah.
When we think about like that's what we used to focus on, and now Satan, you know, I'm putting that in air quotes, in movies tend to be more like a guy who's like tall, and you know what I mean. Like we have these different versions in our literature and in our pop culture about what Satan really is.
Yeah.
But anyway, so now go ahead and do those quotes, Todd.
Okay. First one is this one. I think this is when they're in the bar that I just played, but a little different.
I mean, it's easier to lose yourself in drugs than it is to cope with life. It's easier to steal what you want than it is to earn it. It's easier to beat a child than it is to raise it. Hell, love costs. It takes effort and work.
Pretty good.
Man, I mean, it's so true. Now, I would, as a social worker, I would say, is it really easier? In the moment, it's easier, but the long-term consequences are a million times. You have so much more to deal with.
Right.
And this is obvious, but for a police officer who sees these things, it just seems like the more simpler solution.
I don't know how police officers keep saying, because if their job is to fight crime and to protect and serve, they are in spaces with people that are really troubled and challenged, and
that's all they see.
that's all they see.
Well, and like Todd and I just watched a documentary called The Perfect Neighbor that came out, and it's all done. The whole documentary is done through body cam footage, and you know, you just see what the police officers have to do to diffuse situations. And it just so happens that I think that the majority of them in this documentary did a really good job, which is probably on purpose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they were, and I do believe that for as much as there are certain police officers who make poor choices or who are racist in the way that they proceed in their job, those things, there are many people who are wonderful police officers. We know them, you know, and you know, what they have to do to maintain their mental health and their mental well-being and their families, it's above and beyond. You know, I can only imagine.
Mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor?
Yeah, look for the helpers.
Sweet. I just want to get you choked up on this Thursday morning.
I'm not going to cry in the Se7en podcast. I cried too much in the Haunting of Hill House podcast.
Just-
If I cry in the Se7en podcast, then whoa.
Just for the record, I think Kathy's favorite person of all time is Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
By the way, I think mine might be Michael J. Fox.
Did you see that video I sent
I did
you?
see it.
He's so lovely.
He is.
I love him. And it's Back to the Future month or something like that. Or yesterday was Back to the Future Day.
If we had a podcast where we talked about movies, we might want to highlight that.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I know. Well, we couldn't in spooky season.
I know. We are in spooky season.
Maybe we'll do a Michael J. Fox month, but I'm trying to think of movies besides Back to the Future. I like the Bright Light. What's the Bright Lights one? What is that called? Bright Lights, Big City? No.
Was that with Kiefer Sutherland?
That's where he met, and Tracy Pollan was in it too, his wife. I
Yeah.
think it was called Bright Lights, Big City. And then what other? He was in that one, the one with Sean Penn where they're in the war.
Yeah. I've never seen that one.
Yeah. What are some other Michael J. Fox movies?
Oh.
Teen Wolf. We can do Teen Wolf.
Let's not do Teen.
Have we already done Teen Wolf?
Yeah, we did it.
Did we?
No.
Oh, I would love to do. Sweetie, you love Styles. You want to talk about Styles and Teen
No,
Wolf.
I don't.
Okay, so should we go to Remember When?
Yeah. Let me head on over there.
Okay. Remember when you couldn't
Wait to love me, couldn't wait to leave me. I think I may have seen this movie in the theater,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember not having any idea what was going on at the end of the movie, and it was building to something massive. Like I knew that, even though I didn't know, I knew that this ending was going to deliver in a way that I couldn't even imagine. Like maybe some people predicted the head in the box.
No. How could they?
How could they?
Because when the van starts driving,
And
down,
I just wanted, and you know, the other thing is when he turns himself in, and there's so much more
I was
movie
so
to go.
confused.
I'm like, wait a second.
I know, I remember that.
This movie is different because the bad guy just turned himself in.
Yeah.
And we got another 40 minutes of this movie. So I just remember being
Sweet, can you say detective?
Doesn't
Doesn't he yell?
he's
like, detective.
He does. We'll get to
Detective.
that. We'll get to that. And that's a haunting way he says that. He's like polite, says
then
a
he
little bit
yells it.
louder, and then he needs to.
Detective.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's what I remember.
So I don't remember the first time I saw it. I have a hard time believing I saw it in the theater because I feel like I would have remembered. I think it was more after I probably saw it on VHS. You know, I probably saw it on videotape, right? And then just watch, or maybe I saw it on TV. I don't remember. I just know that now I've seen it a million times.
Yeah.
Because it was on TBS and all those
Are
stations.
you ready for a little detective action?
Sure, go ahead. Detective.
Detective.
After this, I'm
Detective. Big surprise. You're looking for me.
Oh my God.
And Brad Pitt's good in that scene too.
He is.
So he's like, oh my God. Like they can't even believe what they're like. Morgan Freeman can't even believe what he's seeing.
Yeah.
And you know, they just kind of feel like they are not at a dead end, but they keep kind of almost getting this guy and then they don't.
Yeah.
And so then he turns himself in. So I don't have a lot to remember when.
Let's go to random facts.
Okay.
Oh, before we do that, I
Okay.
want to. Okay, well, I'll play another quote in a second. That's kind of a very weird soundbite we're doing right now, sweetie.
I know human. It's very
So creepy.
connected to the movie.
Oh my God.
And there's been a lot of discussion. I remember listening to Rewatchables about 7 years ago, and there was a lot of discussion about that box
Yeah.
that her head is in and how it didn't like leak through.
Yeah. Well, they put it in a bag.
I guess,
Different
but
ways to
so I guess that box was about 8 pounds.
Or maybe he. I was going to say that, but I thought it was in poor taste, so you said it for me.
I mean,
The box was.
first of all, that the van driving down
Guy.
there, I think I remember that the first time I saw it, that I thought the van was going to explode or something.
Yeah, something like
There
that.
was something. And so when you see that the guy getting out of the van is like, dude, I do not know what's
he's
going
gonna crap
on.
his pants.
And then gosh, I wish I could remember if I knew the whole thing before if I knew her head was in the box. I don't remember.
Well, it's weird because you would think that that is an ending that a lot of people would want to spoil for you because it's so
That's what I mean. I wonder.
different. But I think I went in cold.
Yeah. It's really like then that's where Morgan Freeman really shines because he almost becomes like
Oh
a
yeah,
kid.
Morgan Freeman is terrified.
He's terrified and he's like, don't,
Yeah,
you
give me your
know,
gun.
but yeah, he's like, he runs over there. And they, again, Fincher is just a great director, but he does all these shots from the helicopter.
Yeah,
So you're watching them almost like, you know, they're like ants
Yeah.
on the ground running back and forth. And Mills is like, you know, wondering what's going on. And can I say a few random facts about Fincher first? Just
sure.
to kind
And then
of,
I'll go after you because I got a
Great.
bunch.
so David Fincher is the director of this movie. And he interestingly started at Lucasfilm. In the ILM, the Industrial Light and Magic. He worked on Return of the Jedi and Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. I didn't know that. That was new to me.
Me neither.
For anyone who's a Fincher fan, you know that he doesn't like first takes. He usually shoots 50 plus of everything.
Yikes.
And so there's a lot of actors that have worked with David Fincher who have gotten really burned out. The one I always think about is Jake Gyllenhaal in Zodiac, which was a Fincher movie that he got so burned out because they were just take after take after take after take. And he basically, Fincher's quote that he said was, I don't want people acting, I want them behaving. So he basically just kind of breaks them down. And so they're doing it more, you know, it's more natural, I guess. I don't know. It's interestingly because Clint Eastwood, who's also a wonderful director, or well thought of director, I should say, he does the opposite. First take, let's move on.
Yeah, we got it.
So Fincher doesn't like improvisation. He likes controlled environments. I'm not quite sure I would work very well with David Fincher.
I don't think so either.
This was interesting. He directed music videos in the 80s and 90s. He made Express Yourself and Vogue with Madonna. He did Paula Abdul videos, George Michael, Aerosmith. So he kind of defined that MTV aesthetic, you know, with the way he made films. He disowned his first film, which was Alien. He didn't like it, and I don't know. Do you know the story behind that? Why Fincher didn't like Alien?
So you're telling me David Fincher directed this video?
This video is dark. Have you ever seen it?
Come on, girl. Do you believe it? Because I got something to say about it. And it goes something like this.
It's like she's like a boss above all these men who are like working like hardcore labor.
Yeah.
And it's all very dark and like black and, you know, like it's not like scary. It's just kind of a darker reality.
And what's
that's
the
all.
one that I love Lady Gaga, but I feel like she stole this Madonna song for one of her own.
Born This Way?
I think that's it. Let's find out. Was it Born This Way? Yeah, I think that's it.
You imagine to gravitate instantly. Mama told me when I was young, we're all superstars. My lipstick on in a glass of purple dry. There's nothing wrong with loving who you are.
I do not hear that the way other people do. I get it, but I don't hear it as much.
All right. So let's just agree to disagree.
And I'm not trying to like protect Lady Gaga. I just don't hear it as well.
Total Madonna. Anyways, all right. Keep going.
So, I wanted to just really quickly share his other films.
Sure, go ahead.
So David Fincher did Fight Club.
Seen it.
He predicted that it would be misunderstood, that people would think it was just a violent movie and not satire. The whole purpose of the book and of the movie was a critique, not an endorsement of toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
In the movie Fight Club, the Starbucks cups are totally deliberate. I thought that was interesting, kind of like a commentary. Like every scene has a Starbucks cup.
Oh,
in it.
really?
Yeah. He also did the movie Zodiac in 2007. It sounds like he was pretty obsessed with this movie. I actually wrote down that Gyllenhaal actually got frustrated and walked off set once. Let's see, Social Network, which is my favorite Fincher movie, 2010. You know, there's a lot of lore about the opening scene of the Social Network, Jesse Eisenberg and Rooney Mara, that that dialogue, they did it 99 times, if not more.
Crazy.
And again, that involved Aaron Sorkin and his writing, and that they were timing it, and that it had to be like perfect timing. And then Fincher did Gone Girl, which is another one I loved the book. I really liked the movie too. It was just interesting timing with Ben Affleck and everything. Gone Girl, and then Se7en. So Se7en was earlier than these, but those are like, if you're kind of like, what's the Fincher aesthetic?
That's what it
all
is.
of those movies. So go ahead.
New Line Cinema executives originally balked at the film's ending, but Brad Pitt apparently refused to make the film if the ending was changed.
Yes.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think they showed it with the last scene being him shooting.
Oh, yeah.
And that was it. And then it faded to black.
Right.
And people did not like it.
Yeah. And
You
then
know.
they ended up having him in the cop car and he's going to jail.
The Morgan Freeman narrative
Yeah.
or narrator.
Maybe we'll play that. When Mills and Somerset go to Wild Bill's leather store looking for information about John Doe, the clerk says that Doe had a limp. Behind them, outside the store, a man limping is shown watching the detectives.
And he's standing in the window with his umbrella just looking at them. Like, this was the first time I was really like, oh, there he is.
Pretty creepy.
Like, I knew, because John Doe is actually in a few scenes
Yeah.
before you know who John Doe is.
Yeah. All of John Doe's books were real books written for the film. They took 2 months to complete and cost $15,000. According to Morgan Freeman, 2 months is about the time it would take the police to read all the books, whatever. David Fincher wanted the credits to look like a killer had written them.
Yeah, perfect.
Good job, you did that. For the gluttony scene, 7 crates of cockroaches were released on the set and poured on Bob Mack. Something had to be put in Mack's ears and nose to stop the cockroaches from crawling in. It didn't stop them from crawling into his underwear.
Okay, I cannot deal with any of that.
David Fincher said on the DVD commentary that he felt bad for the actor who had to wear all the hot, heavy gluttony prosthetics. So to compensate, he made him well endowed.
That was nice.
So there's a part where he's on the table.
Yep, I know exactly the
And
scene.
his penis is showing, and apparently he has a big penis. I don't remember that part.
Lovely.
But, and lastly, the diner that Somerset and Tracy met is the same diner that Denzel and Ethan Hawke met in Training Day.
I thought they were going to say like Heat.
Nope.
Okay.
That's what I got.
That makes sense. So a few other things. Brad Pitt was actually injured in that scene where they're chasing John Doe.
Yeah.
So they wrote it into the movie. That's why he has the cast.
Yeah.
They're like, just have the cast, write it in. Obviously it rains every single day in this movie intentionally. As we already said, the city has no name. The interesting, there's no music in the final scene.
Yeah.
It's almost like you don't need any persuasion to feel the way you do.
Right.
Let's see. So one of the best random facts is in the sloth scene.
Yeah.
So the sloth scene is pretty brutal, where there's this guy that they think that, so it's kind of, you got to trace it back. There's this thing that during the scene of greed, behind one of the paintings, the artwork, they are able to find in fingerprint dust. This is all like, how did they do this? But whatever, that it says, help me.
Yeah.
But it's not the fingerprints that make out help me are not the greed guy that died. So they figure out who the fingerprints belong to, and they belong to some guy who's also very depraved, who is a criminal in the city. And they're like, okay, he's the one who did it.
Yeah.
Okay. So they find out where he lives. They get to his house, and it turns out that the real John Doe, the real killer, has been starving this guy for a year.
Yeah.
Like, he tied him down and has been starving him.
Yeah.
It's so depraved. And so when you walk in, like, all of these like air fresheners.
That's right. New car smell. They want the new car smell in that apartment.
Come on. But the random fact about it is that all the detectives are kind of like looking at him, shining flashlights on him, and he looks like a dummy, like a doll. And then all of a sudden the actor breathes, and none of the actors knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
So they all freaked out. So that scene is real.
Yeah.
And they said, then there's all this gross stuff after that, where when he gets to the hospital, they say his brain is mush. He chewed off his tongue. Just awful. See, those are the scenes that I'm like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Crossword puzzle time. But why those scenes are important, at least to get the detective work part, is each scene connects them to the next thing.
Sure.
You know, you have to get the detective work. And then obviously the last thing is just Se7en, the title. It's actually SE, the number 7EN.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, another quote. I don't even know which one this is, but we'll find out.
This guy's methodical, exacting, and worst of all, patient.
He's a nutbag.
That's it.
Just because the fucker's got a library card doesn't make him Yoda.
Yeah, there you go.
John, that was the Brad Pitt thing that I was talking about.
He's a
nutbag.
That's right.
That's just so him.
Let's do one more.
Okay.
What do you got?
Dead dog.
I didn't do that.
John
Kind of
Doe.
funny. John Doe's like, don't put that on me. I didn't kill the dog. Okay,
So
we ready for-
WTF?
Head on over there.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
We already kind of talked a little bit about this, but the journals that somebody they paid somebody to write those journals, and it took however long. I think there's another way of doing it. WTF.
Sweetie, they're trying to get the, like the realism.
And then this isn't really WTF, but just I think they were smart. It's such a dark movie, and which is kind of interesting because the last scene is in bright sunlight, and all of a sudden you feel differently. Like, oh well,
is it going to be okay?
Maybe we're going to turn around here a little bit. Maybe Mills is going to be able to go have babies with Tracy, and they ride off in the sunset. And turns out that's not what happens.
There is never any point in that movie when you think that's going to happen.
That's true. That's what I got.
So I'm going to speak of Tracy and WTF. I think it's interesting, that first of all, and again, it was the 90s. It was a different time. But I can hear you drinking that smoothie in my ears.
Not in my ears.
Yes. And remember, smoothie is not good for podcast
I got
throats.
it. I'm on it.
Okay. So first of all, Tracy never wanted to move to this city.
She did not.
And so that's made very clear. And even Mills is not sure why he's there.
Yeah.
Like there's question, like he obviously wants to move up the ladder or prove himself, but there didn't seem to be a marital agreement on this. I mean, they're still very in love and there doesn't seem to be anger, but she's very unhappy in this city. They have an awful apartment that shakes, from the subway, and they have 4 dogs or like 3 dogs in a room.
I thought it was
in an
two big dogs.
It's
But
more than 2.
is it really?
It might just be 3.
Yeah.
And those are like their children, air quotes. He's like, oh, how are the kids or whatever?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, they're in there. And she, when, she figures out she's pregnant or whatever, and she calls William.
Mm-hmm.
William is Somerset, to tell him. And she's like, it's just because I know no one else in the city. And I kind of get it, but like, call your friends.
Yeah.
Like, why are you taking your husband's partner
Right.
to go have this conversation? And she's like, I used to teach 5th grade, or I used to be a teacher. And he's like, why don't you teach more? Do something. And she's like, I don't know. And she's like, why don't you talk to David about this? That's Mills. And she's like, I don't want to be a burden. I'm like, oh, girl.
Yeah, come on.
Come on. This is our lives.
You want to hear a little Tracy? And
Sure.
Can be a hard place.
I don't know why I asked you to come.
Why don't you talk to him about it? Tell him how you feel.
I can't be a burden, especially now.
pretty
I get used to things.
Smarter.
I think I wanted to talk to someone who's lived here for a long time. And I mean, upstate, it's a completely different environment. Did David tell you that I teach 5th grade? Well,
All right. So whatever.
And she says upstate, which makes you think New
New
York.
York. Even though they don't say it, and I think they like the fact that they don't say it. It's New York. It's got to be.
So, again, I know this was the 90s. It was a different time. I was probably very similar. Gwyneth Paltrow is only a few years older than me, so I was probably very similar to her in my mindset. But anyone listening to this who's, in 2025, it's not a burden to share how you feel about what you want.
Sweetie, are you rolling in the deep right now?
Well, I am, because that whole scene bugged me. And to boot, she's pregnant.
I know.
And she's debating whether or not to keep the baby because of where they are in life.
Yeah.
Or I think she is. I mean, it just sounds like it from the conversation
Yeah.
because Morgan Freeman shares his experience. I just think she was confused about what to do. She obviously hadn't told David yet.
I'm going to just really quickly go into our hidden gems, if you're okay with that.
When I walk in the room, I can still make a whole place shimmer.
My hidden gem in this movie is Gwyneth.
Oh,
I think she does a really good job acting. I don't think they give her much to do.
no.
And
A lot of sleeping scenes. She's always sleeping.
I'm fully engaged with her performance. I think that she doesn't overact, but she hits you in the heart when Morgan Freeman tells her to spoil her kid if she chooses to have it, and she kind of like breaks down for a second. And I like how she is taking. It's funny because we kind of just described her as a passive wife, which she is. Yet she's like, we're having your partner in our house tonight for dinner.
It's my favorite scene.
Yeah, right.
Where she calls and he's like, they're in the office together, and Brad Pitt's like, I don't know, like, why are you calling or whatever? What are you talking about?
I think he calls her a dingleberry.
And then she says she wants to talk to Somerset, and she said, you're coming over for dinner. I won't take no for an answer. And then he's like, okay.
So
so you're right. Like, she's not like a pat. It's less about the micro, which is she's speaking up or like doing what she needs to do. It's the bigger version of the decision to move there and all of that kind of stuff. It's a movie.
Right.
I don't mean to pick it apart so much.
No,
It's
that's
just
what
a
we're
movie.
doing, sweetie. We pick apart movies.
We are, and I agree with you. I think Gwyneth Paltrow is a very good actress, and not just in this movie.
No, in most things.
I think she's very good, and she's stepped away from acting for almost a decade, besides Iron Man stuff and Avengers, and she is going to be in a movie this year with Timothée Chalamet.
All right.
So she's back.
All right, we're gonna do another quote real quick.
Should I do my hidden gem?
Sure. Do your. Oh, you got one. Good.
Well, my hidden gem, it's actually, we kind of already said it. It's just about the fact that John Doe is in all these scenes. But the scene that John Doe is most present in is after one of the murders. When Brad Pitt and Somerset are coming down the stairs, a photographer comes up and takes their picture, and Brad Pitt kind of like swats at him, like, get out of here. And then Brad Pitt actually says, how did they get this information so fast? Like, how did they get to the crime scene so fast? And that was John Doe, because when they go to John Doe's house, a picture in the tub is of Mills.
Yeah.
He took a picture of him. So I just thought,
Well,
again, just good creepy stuff.
And just to build on that, so Brad Pitt's like, how do they find out so quickly about these? And then Morgan Freeman's like,
They pay police.
There's people that pay police for information, and that in the end is how John Doe finds out where Mills lives. He pays another
Tracy.
police officer about how to get to Tracy.
Oh, awful.
Yeah.
And then, interestingly, again, because we have to see all these sides, when Brad Pitt is so pissed that John Doe gets away, they know where he lives, and Somerset's like, we have to go get a warrant to go in there. And Brad Pitt's like, they fight, and he's like, no, I'm going to kick the door down.
Yeah.
Because once you kick the door down, you've crossed a line where you have no, what's it called? Like, no reason to break in there.
Probable cause.
But then they pay a woman to lie for them, to, like Brad Pitt does,
It's
to
so
say,
obvious too.
yeah, I mean, she's like, can barely,
Yeah.
and he's like, go eat.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's just showing you a lot of sides of people. Obviously, it's very clear who's good and bad. I mean, I'm not saying that Brad Pitt's bad. I'm saying that it's just an interesting paying people off kind of thing.
Kind of reminded me, and this is a dated movie, but it's such a typical movie dynamic between the older wise cop and the younger rambunctious cop. And the only other example I can come up with, and I'm sure there's dozens of them, is in Colors. You got Robert Duvall and Sean Penn.
And Training Day.
Training Day, very good. What is? Can you think of any others?
Let's see. Older cop. I mean, 48 Hours.
Axel Foley is not a cop, though.
No, not Beverly Hills Cop.
48 Hours. Reggie Hammond is not a cop,
but he is doing cop work.
Yes, that's true.
With Nick Nolte.
Yeah.
let's see, what are buddy cop movies?
Crockett and Tubbs.
But there's not an older one. And
No.
Running Scared, they're both about the
No,
same
they're
age.
they're gonna open up their bar in Jamaica.
No, or no, yeah, but they're from Chicago, right?
Yes.
But yes, they're going to open up their bar.
20 Best Buddy Cop. Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon.
There you
sure.
go. 48 Hours. 7. 21 Jump Street. Did you ever see that?
The TV show, yes, never the movie.
Rush Hour, never saw that. Bad Boys, never saw that. Beverly Hills Cop.
Bad Boys, you've seen Will Smith.
I've never seen it.
Okay.
Men in Black. Never really got into that.
I did like the first Men in Black.
Point Break. There you go.
Yeah.
Bodie.
And you're going to spin off this planet guy. What's his name? Gary
Busey. Tango and Cash.
Yeah, I liked Tango and Cash. I was a fan.
It was all right. It's such a cheesy movie.
But it was on TBS and everything all the time.
And Rocky got smart. He was like wearing suspenders and smart glasses, and he was like an investor.
I just like Kurt Russell.
Yeah. Who doesn't like anybody who doesn't like Kurt Russell? Just stop it.
Yeah. He's in that Jeff Bridges area for me, where just everything they did.
And he loves his girlfriend because they're not married.
You mean Goldie Hawn?
Yeah.
Yes, that is
girlfriend, right?
I would say life partner.
Oh.
Girlfriends, I mean, they're like in their 80s.
His woman friend.
His woman friend. Or maybe they're not in their 80s, but they're older.
There's no way they're there.
Isn't
it weird how some people are like,
I know.
We just assume everybody's in their 80s now because we're in our 50s.
She's got to be like at least 10 years older than us. I just put in Goldie Hawn.
While you do that,
Yes.
I'm going to just pull up another clip.
She's 79.
Oh my God, you were so close to being right, sweetie.
But not.
Can you
right.
imagine Goldie Hawn is 79?
No.
How old are we? That's so crazy.
I know.
Goldie Hawn is 79.
I know. Kurt Russell is younger than Goldie Hawn.
And Goldie Hawn probably looks fantastic.
She does. I mean,
79.
she's 79.
Yeah. That's crazy. All right. I don't know what.
So I think we're going into Rolling in the Deep.
First, we're going to listen to another quote.
Okay.
Calm down. I seem to remember us knocking on your door.
That's right. And I seem to remember breaking your face.
I mean, he could have killed him. He has a gun to his head for a long time.
I know.
But that wasn't his game. He wanted to pull off the best. He's like, they're going to talk about me for years.
Sure did. Are we going to roll in the deep?
Yeah.
I wonder if I have anything for rolling in the deep. Nothing other than, what I'm going to share has very little value because we've already talked about it. So what do you have?
Are you sure?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I want to bring up a book that I read in 2023 that's still really important to me called On Our Best Behavior, The 7 Deadly Sins and the Price Women Pay to Be Good by Elise Lonen. She is, ironically, she used to be the Goop. She used to work at Goop as like the executive director. She hasn't worked there since I think 2020, but she is a writer. She's a ghost writer. She's like helped Richard Rohr with books, Phil Stutz with books. Like she's really in that world. But this was her book, and she did all this research on the 7 deadly sins and how they really, I mean, I'm paraphrasing. You have to, go into all the history. There's like a chapter where she actually says at the beginning, if you don't want to read this chapter because it's so dense, you don't have to, but this is all the history of how this came to be. And first of all, the 7 deadly sins are not in the Bible.
Oh, okay. That's weird.
So they were created later. And for the most part, they were created by a man who, what was his name? He also did something else significant in the world of Christianity, but they were written and they were mostly used against women. Okay. So
imagine that.
Yeah. So they were mostly used to keep women in their place. And I'm not saying they didn't affect men but there was a sense of control with them that it has become pretty pervasive in our culture that women are more affected by this sense of we have to be good and, women are not supposed to talk about money. They're not supposed to be greedy. They're not supposed to be ambitious. They're not supposed to, be lustful or sexual or use their bodies. They're not supposed to be vain. They're supposed to not care about that, but actually really care about it. It's really tends to be more, of an issue for women historically and now.
It it did evolve. It started with some guy named Evagrius Ponticus in the
And he
4th
did
century.
something else. What else did he do?
He's a Christian monk. It was about 375 AD. He wrote a letter describing these 8 tempting thoughts, demons, and then Pope Gregory the First.
Wait, and so you just said these 8 things, the 7 deadly sins, but what he decided to take out was sad.
Oh, really?
Sadness. Yeah.
You
Mm-hmm.
know what I think about that?
Mm-hmm.
I think about
He took it out.
we got to create some space for sadness. Come on, dude.
Right.
And then good old Pope Gregory in the 6th century. There's something I love about religious history. I don't know why.
You know why?
Why?
Because it helps you sort through all these things that we believe to be true.
Mhm.
I feel like I've said this so many times on this podcast, but if you understand the history of theology, you won't be so strapped by religion. And when I say that, I am a spiritual person. I have no issue like with a belief in God or having a spiritual nature, but a lot of religion is about control and money and greed.
Well, sweetie, Pope Gregory in the 6th century. So this kind of doubles down on what we just said. 7 deadly sins were first enumerated in the 6th century by Saint Gregory the Great, who reigned as Pope for whatever. Pope Gregory reduced the list to 7 items, folding vainglory into pride,
Okay.
whatever that is, and acedia into sadness, and adding envy, whatever that means.
Okay.
So they added envy, acedia. I don't even know what that word means.
I don't know.
And then St. Thomas Aquinas in the 13th century, he decided to replace sadness with sloth.
Oh,
So
they got shifted
a
around.
bunch of dudes are like, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing today. I'm going to switch it from sadness over to sloth. That's what I'm going to do today.
Because that serves my interest at this point in time. And that's kind of my point, is so much was about control. And so like, because Mary Magdalene and, other women were around and had, connection to Jesus and connection to disciples and connection in the big picture, but all of their stories were removed.
Yeah.
And so we have this belief system that isn't based in we don't have an understanding of where all this came from, and so we accept it as fact. And we have arguments about things that, if you understand the history of theology, you would have a completely different vision.
Yeah.
Because the Bible can be very beautiful with its stories and its mythology and its teachings. But taking words literally when they've been translated a million times and changed for the benefit of whoever is in charge at that time. These are things we have to wider perspective. Many things can be true at once. And that's why I just think anybody who studies theology, because theology affects every aspect of our lives, about why people do what they do, why they believe what they believe, why wars are started, why people separate from each other, why we're political parties. It's a basis, it's a foundational sociological understanding.
Sure.
And I do know some, but not what I should know.
Right.
You know what I mean? I know the basics and I've read a lot of history, but I would have loved to have gotten myself a PhD.
That's right.
Let's do that. Let's go back to school and get PhD.
Put that on the list.
Okay.
Are we ready for the next category?
I'm still enrolling in the deep a little
Okay,
bit.
so keep rolling.
So I'll say, first of all, read that book that I just talked about, Elise Lonan. I use that book a lot in women's groups and such. So just interesting that Somerset and Mills are like 2 different ways of seeing the world. That Somerset, he knows too much because he's been around and he feels powerless. And Mills feels everything and can't handle it yet. So he's more like scrappy, like let's keep going. And so it's like their dynamic is like the whole spine of the movie. It's a generational clash, obviously, because, Mills is more idealistic and Somerset is more weary, etc. John Doe is a dark mirror for us. Like I said, I kind of wrote about him already in what I wrote last week on my Substack. He's an embodiment of moral obsession gone wrong. Yeah. He's believing he's doing something good for the world. He really believes this.
Just like Thanos, like you said
exactly.
earlier.
He wants to expose sin, but then in doing that, he becomes the most sinful person of all. You know what I mean? So the 7 deadly sins as modern parables, the crimes aren't in this movie at least aren't about religion. It's about human weakness magnified by our modern life. So gluttony is like, consumption or addiction. Greed is the rot of capitalism. Sloth is an emotional numbness, because the sloth guy that he kills is a guy who's also killing people.
Yeah.
Lust, the exploitation of desire. Like I said, I don't watch that scene, even though they don't really show you. You get the gist of what happened, and it's awful.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I'm like, and of course a woman is blamed, but there's men who are also involved in that. And then pride is image over substance. That's a really interesting one. A woman who's given a choice to either call for help or to take pills. And envy and wrath, jealousy and retribution. And so the message really is that sin isn't ancient. It's everywhere. It's disguised in our everyday behavior. And that was kind of the point of Elise Lonen's book, is the 7 deadly sins still live inside of us. We still, like Todd, I would say if you were to go through the book the way I have, you would struggle with sloth. Like
Same.
you have a hard time. You
Stop
have a
eating.
belief system.
Stop eating when I'm full.
No, sloth is like being chill and relaxing. Like a sloth.
For sure.
That is the area where you believe.
I would hate that.
Exactly. There is something in you that you're like doing, and having a schedule is what makes me a worthy person.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely my baggage. It's funny. I didn't even think about sloth, the animal.
Yeah.
I just thought of sloth as somebody who overindulges.
Overindulgence would be greed, wouldn't it?
But why was that big guy sloth?
He wasn't. He was gluttony.
Oh, gluttony. I'm thinking of, okay. Yeah.
Sloth was the guy in bed who had been dying for a
it.
year.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Sloth. All right. Yeah. Sloth, I need to keep moving.
Yeah.
If I'm not moving, I'm not living.
And so your cellular understanding, and again, I'm not saying it's all based on the 7 deadly sins, but there is a societal belief system that you have taken in that is self-protective.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm going to stay busy, and other people who aren't busy are not as good as I am.
For sure.
And so, and again, this is not just about Todd, it's anybody, you know what I mean? Like going through, like, women, pride is Todd.
You showed me.
Like, that bums me out.
Tell me about it.
Like, what are you doing?
Stop it.
And maybe it'll release a little bit over time. I don't know. But I'm like, what are you doing?
He's-
So the box as a metaphor.
What's in the box?
What's in the box is literal and symbolic. It's when idealism dies for Mills. And it's the idea that even good
Forget what we're going to talk about.
Okay, so the best quote of the movie, I think, is the final quote, which again is in my Substack. I use that as my last paragraph, on bad things. Mills has seen a lot of bad things, and a lot of bad things happen, but it's still worth fighting for.
Yeah.
So, the world is sick, but hope, even if it's really fragile, is resistant or has, or not resistant. Hope is persistent. Better word.
Hope is a good thing. Maybe the best of things.
Maybe the best of things. And Andy Dufresne reminds us.
I'm going to play a few more, speaking of quotes, a few more quotes, and I did not bet this, but I think this is kind of a funny one.
Okay.
Hold on. That's not even my desk.
Sweetie, next time.
It's not even my desk. I know exactly when that happens.
It's so funny.
Like, why is he answering the phone then?
That's the police captain. He's annoyed that the phone's ringing, and he answers and say this is not even
But
my-"
that's the thing. He's not at his desk.
I
So
know.
why I know exactly when that happens.
And then here's, I don't know what this is.
You're no messiah. You're a movie of the week. You're a fucking t-shirt at best.
Ernest Hemingway once wrote,
There you go.
Here it is.
"The world is a fine place and worth fighting for." I agree with the second part.
Morgan Freeman might say it better than me. Oh,
I envy your normal life.
Put your gun down, David.
It seems that envy is my sin.
Oh, what's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
All right.
do you think maybe at first he thought maybe it was one of his dogs or something?
I think
Like,
that
do you
was
think he could even like conceptualize
No.
like
No.
and
How can you?
and he doesn't really even know what's in the box, but John Doe keeps talking
Well,
about
I feel like we should just.
because Brad Pitt never looks in that box.
No, he does not. He allows Morgan Freeman to kind of tell him what's happening.
But he doesn't tell him.
After you'd left, I tried to play husband. I tried to taste the life of a simple man. It didn't work out. So I took a souvenir,
Oh,
her pretty head.
oh, so he does.
We got to let this scene run.
What the fuck's she talking about? Give me your gun.
What's going on over there?
What's going on over there?
Put your gun
I
down.
saw you with the box. What was in the box?
Because I envy your normal life.
Put your gun down, David.
It seems that envy is my sin.
What's in the box?
Give me the
What's
gun.
in the fucking box?
Give me the gun.
He just told
You lied. You're a fucking liar.
What he wants? He wants you to shoot him.
No. No.
Oh,
You tell
okay.
me. You tell me.
Too much for me.
All right.
Obviously I did not listen to that last scene this time.
Yeah.
I did my crossword puzzle because I didn't realize he actually told him.
Told her. Yeah.
But obviously he knows. And do you know what I bought this year for? Because I'm already doing Christmas shopping because I just start in October because it just helps me.
Yeah.
I bought wrapping paper that has Brad Pitt on it and it says, "What's in the box?" I really did. I'm not even
It's
joking.
really funny.
I know.
Oh my God,
It's kind of, is it poor taste? No.
No, it's a fictional movie. You're fine.
Okay.
I mean, whenever I think of Jesus rising from the dead, sweetie, I think of a person's head in a box.
Wrapping paper from Se7en.
Yes.
It's just a pic. It's not him sad.
Yeah.
It's just Brad Pitt and it says, "What's in the box?"
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be interesting. It's my pop culture humor.
Let's head on over here.
Okay.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
All right. Cringe or classic? What do you got, babe?
This is a classic Fincher movie. I mean, it's a classic 90s movie. The actors in it are some of our best. We didn't even talk about Kevin Spacey and all of his trouble. But
We don't need to.
we don't need to. And I think it's a classic movie. I don't know a lot of people who haven't seen Se7en,
Yeah.
at least our age.
Yeah. I go totally classic. This
Yeah.
is except for the whole discovering the bodies parts of the movie, which I'm like, whatever. I know it's disgusting and grotesque, but
Well, and that's how you get people in, right?